There's so much talk at the moment about immigration. I think we should talk about this new potential enemy. It's a shame that we have to have an enemy, but if we have to have an enemy on social media, how about the shareholders, how about the profiteers? Because that is an enemy that will bring together voters from across the political spectrum. It's also, I find it quite pathetic really that you've got Reform calling for utilities to be in public ownership, and then you've got a Labour government that is not even considering the question of water in public ownership, and then they're missing this massive opportunity around what Nigel Farage has said about the NHS. He would not be good for the NHS, but how can this government hold Farage to account when they're allowing £10 million a week to flow out in private profits in our NHS, and they're looking at new PFI, which was a disaster last time, and so we're campaigning. We've managed to get 30 Labour MPs signed up this conference to say, we don't want any new PFI, that's not what Labour should be known for. Even the Tories said that it was bad value for money back in 2018. That is not a repeat that this Labour government should be known for. So a more positive, patriotic story that actually has some substance could bring people together. Andy Burnham's been starting to try and tell that story, and the government's been slapping him down and talking about the bond markets, which completely ignores the fact that the bond markets want certainty and no surprises, and they want the sums to add up. And if you buy a profitable asset, you get a profitable asset. And just at the end of last year, it was announced that the Ministry of Defence was buying back 36,347 military homes that were sold off in 1996. They spent £6 billion. It didn't bother the bond markets, and the government didn't shout about it, but they could have done. That was actually started under the Tories, along with a bit of the national grid was also bought back. Shareholders were compensated. All of that can be done. That was the creation of the National Energy Systems Operator, and they compensated shareholders for £630 million. Again, the bond markets were not bothered by this. So I would say, what is more British than wanting to own instead of renting for everyone in this country? And can we end this 40-year failed experiment and take back our public services?